Hello, Han Katyan is here, and we continue to talk about Russian history. So, today's topic is Olga. You could ask me, why Olga? We should talk about Prince Igor, right? Well, not that Igor. Okay, thank you. Anyway, here's the thing. Olga is main character in this story. See, after death of the Oleg, of course, Prince Igor become a ruler of the Rus. From the Novgorod to the Kiev, all his, if you can if you can say his in medieval time, okay. But Igor was not making something big and make a difference in a Russian history. Well, was normal medieval ruler. Sometimes he raids somebody raids him, sometimes he goes to war against Bulgaria or against Byzantium, sometimes somebody pays him money, sometimes he pays somebody money. Normal civilized life, you know. But this death changed everything. You see, Rus as a country was not country like we say now. It was like little mini countries inside of Rus. One of them was Drevlian Principality. So once upon a time, Igor goes to the war against Byzantium and gathering the forces from all the Rus, from all the other princes, from all the other lands. But Drevlian Principality decided to not send anyone. That's okay. That's okay. This is medieval times. That's okay. But Igor lost this war, and when he came back, he realized that he doesn't have money because he was like counting on money that he will get from the war against Byzantium. So he think, where I can get money? Oh, I can go and take them from the Drevlian Principality. Well, first of all, because the Drevlian Principality didn't send any forces, so they didn't have any losses, so they have money. It was the way you gather in the taxes, you know. You gather in the taxes by sending some forces and saying, yo, you didn't pay last time and you didn't lose anything for some time, so give me the money. Drevlians was not happy, but they knew that will happen and they just give Igor some money. And Igor just returning back to Kiev. But on the way back with all his army, well, what's left from the war with Byzantium, he decides suddenly that Drevlians doesn't pay enough. You know, like they pay, but they paid me, but they didn't show any respect. So he decided what I wanna do, what I can do. I can, gathering the taxes second time from the same people. Oh, this was brilliant idea. That was brilliant. So he sent in his main army with the gold to the Kiev, taking only few guards, personal guards to him, and go back to the capital of Drevlian Principality, Iskaristin, and saying, hey, you owe me even more money because I said so. Drevlians this time was like pissed off. They decided to just kill them, and they killed them, and they killed Igor just pretty nasty way. After that, Prince of Drevlians, Mal, decide that, well, if I killed the Prince Igor, the great Prince of Kiev, I should be great Prince of Kiev. I'm like the lost. So how you can be great Prince of Kiev? Oh, marry the widow, of course. So he sent later to Olga and said, hey, Olga, marry me, because I'm a Mal, I kill your husband and I will be next great Prince of Kiev. At the time, Olga already had the son of Igor, Svetoslav. So it sounds like weird, even not talking, if you're not talking about Prince Svetoslav, it still sounds weird, right? So Olga says, okay, send me some ambassadors. And Ma sent ambassadors on the ship, and when ship comes to Kiev, Olga said, okay, bury them alive with the ships. They actually dig big pit, put the ship there, the land ship there, and put the ambassadors there, and bury them alive. When Mal asked what the hell was that, she said, well, you tell me you wanna be a great Prince of Kiev, right? Right. You wanna marry me, right? Right. And you sent some poor bastards as ambassadors? This is insult. I'm a grand princess of Kiev. Send somebody truly noble. And Mal said, okay, I will send somebody truly noble and send even more noble people, even more important people, boyars and lords. This time Olga says, okay, nice to meet you, ambassadors. Nice to meet you, noble ambassadors. Please, go to the banya and wash your dirt from the travel, and we will talk about marriage. Yeah. And when they go to the banya, she demands, like, okay, now burn them alive. Soldiers of the Olga close the doors, close the windows, and burn the banya with the ambassadors. Saving the time, Olga gathering forces and immediately go to the Drevlans, while they didn't know what happened to the ambassadors. She goes there and said, before the marriage, I wanna properly grieve on the grave of my husband. You know, I wanna see this place when he died and make some feast in his memory. And Drevland says, well, yes, this is very good idea. Yes, proper idea. Yes. Where are ambassadors? Oh, they like right behind me. Yeah, they coming. They coming. I already agree. Yeah, I will marry Mal. Okay, I will marry him. Okay. So they gather in the feast. And basically, Olga ordered to her soldiers to not drink a lot and make some more wine, give some more wine to the Drevland nobles. And when they get drunk, she just start massacre. They killed everyone. They killed every single lord and boyars. And you must understand, every noble of the Drevland Principality should be there. And they all dead. After that, she burned Iskristin. Well, she's not burned it, she tried to burn it, she burned something around. And go back to Kiev. That was disaster for the Drevland Principality. First of all, because all the rulers, all the lords, local lords, all the boyars was dead, and that means there is no one who can lead the army. Mal was survived, but it was for some time, because it was fourth part of the revenge of the Olga. She gathered all forces she can get. If she killed nobles, yes, in the feast, with little forces she cannot just bring all army, because it was gathering all forces of Rus and go to the Drevland Principality. The Drevland Principality lost the capability to defend themselves. She, on a horse, with her little 4-year-old son, Svetoslav, before her, and with help of old friend of Oleg, Svenelt, the basically general of Rus army, defeat what left of army of Drevlans and then burned the capital of Iskristin and killed everyone, including Mal and all his family. She just do one thing good, well, humanistic if you can say so. She take the daughter of Mal, Malusha, as her servant, and then she go back to the Kiev. Yeah. She kinda dangerous woman. Scandinavian, by the way. Anyway, during some time she was ruler of Rus and a very respectable one, until Svetoslav became an adult. Adult and warrior and conqueror. Well, he decided, and decision was right for this time, that only way to be a cool man is conquer and rule. And, well, if you want money, just go to the place when somebody have money and take this from them. Why they have money? They shouldn't, I should. Okay? So the Svetoslav starts to fight and conquer all around borders. He burned out Bulgaria of Volga. He destroyed Khazarian Khaganate, burned out the capital, burned out several cities. And by the way, if Bulgaria of Volga managed to rebuild themselves after Svetoslav come to them, then Khazarian Khaganate is not. Khazarian Khaganate was never as influential as it was before the coming of Svetoslav. Svetoslav go to Bulgaria of Balkans. Svetoslav fight against Byzantium. It was for many years in a row. He just fight. Our local nationalists still talking about Svetoslav as a first emperor sometimes, or somebody who tried to build paganist empire. Yes, he was a paganist still, while Olga, his mother, was already Christian. She changed her religion for many reasons, but I have to tell you one thing. In medieval religion, faith, and your material life like politics, it's parts of one. But if you changed your religion, it's not just changing your faith, it's political decision. Of course, it was absolutely natural that she decided to become Orthodox Christian, because Orthodox Christianity was a religion of Byzantium Empire, and it was biggest and strongest and richest country of the Europe and maybe the whole world at the time. It will be stupid to change to something else, especially when Byzantium borders like there. You'd like been there. So Olga became a Christian, but Sviatoslav doesn't. Despite the Olga trying to convince him to change the religion and baptize himself, he didn't wanna. He was a paganist, real paganist, and by the way, last paganist on the throne of the Rus. Well, big paganist on the throne of the Rus. Once upon a time, the nomadic tribes that were still living on the steppes of Black Sea, on the north of Black Sea, using the fact that Sviatoslav was on Balkans, decided to attack the Kiev and besiege it. Olga sent a letter to Sviatoslav and basically demanded that the son should come back. Sviatoslav come back, defeat nomadic tribes of Pechenegs, and then said, okay, Malda, you okay here? Everything okay? And I will go back to Bulgaria, like I have some stuff there, okay? Olga says, no. Son, you have 3 sons your own, my grandchilds. You should raise them. You have things to do. Why I am ruling your country? And last and not least, I'm tired and I'm old. Please, stay here until my death. Be a nice boy. And he stayed. But unfortunately, Olga dies 3 days later. He was grieved not by only Sviatoslav, but also by her grandchild and whole city. Because she was so much respected, so well known, that Olga is still one of the most respected and important figures in our culture. Everyone knows who is Princess Olga. Everyone in Russia knows who was she. Sviatoslav, her son, wasn't have a long life after that. Several years later, the story repeats itself. Pechenegs again besieged Kiev, and he goes back from Bulgaria after not very successful war. He decided to spend the winter on the shores of Dnieper, much south than Kiev, and sent only Svenelt, his general, the same Svenelt, his general and his old teacher, to defend the Kiev. Unfortunately, Pechenegs knew about that. He dies on these shores. Pechenegs encircled Sviatoslav and his army, and killed him. What's important, we must understand. Olga was significant. She was first ruler that take Christianity in our country. She managed, by her force and her influence, to make metropolitan in Kiev, Orthodox Christianic metropolitan in Kiev, and many lords and nobles and boyars become a Christian because of her. Her son Sviatoslav was first man with the actual Slavic name. In some chronics he mentioned as Svendislav, but this last part, Slav, it's a part that only noble Slavic people have in their names. If you have some friends, Russians or Ukrainian or doesn't matter, Slavic, and they have like Vyacheslav or Sviatoslav or something like that, Stanislav. This is names in old times that only nobles have. Sviatoslav, on the other hand, by defeating Khazarian Khaganate, he make south borders more safe for the Rus. It was very important. But Pechenegs and other nomadic tribes still was a problem. His child, one of them, one of 3 childs, will continue to rule Rus and become even more significant than his father and his grandmother. But we will talk about it next time. Thank you for your time. It was Han Katian. Goodbye.